Thanks for clicking on this video. I really do appreciate it. And in return, I'm going to tell you the story or the history of my entire dating life. From whenever I started puberty, pretty much 14 or 15 years old, to when I got married at 27. So yes, I'm married right now with 2 kids. And the reason I want to make this video, there's a few reasons. First of all, this channel is called Father Fee. I want this to be pretty much a vehicle for me to speak to my kids in the future, in case I'm no longer here. Hopefully that'll give them some comfort. Secondary goal here, I want to become as articulate as humanly possible, and this is my practice. Third, I want to be a good input into your life. That way I feel like I'm providing value to the world, and that's, I think, an example I want to provide to my kids as like a role model kind of thing. That providing value to the world will, like, first and foremost, will pretty much get you what you want in life. And I want to prove that by providing as much value as I can, as earnestly as I can throughout my life, so that they can see this and, see, perhaps emulate this in the future. All right, so let's get to it. In order to talk about my dating history, I think I need to talk about some context first. Let's talk about my stats. Stat-wise, my height is 5'8", maybe 5'9", it's a good morning. My weight, 160 pounds-ish. It's pretty much been stable at that for a few years. Whenever I started this journey, obviously, I was probably 80 or 90 pounds in ninth grade. What else? Brown eyes, black hair, Asian. I was born in America, in Louisiana, actually. So in the South. What else? Yeah. So body count, 6.5. We'll get to that. Yeah. So let's wind back the clock and start at whenever I was 14 years old. These are my pretty much first real romantic thoughts, I guess. I was talking to this girl. Let's call her In, and we lived pretty nearby each other in the same neighborhood. And we got to talking, and over the course of the year of my freshman year, and she was in 8th grade, I developed feelings for her. And then the next year, when she came to the school, I did continue to talk to her, and we definitely hit it off one-on-one. But pretty much our only time together, other than a few occasional like class swapping instances, we stood in the same friend group. It's like this kind of friend circle. And I don't know what possessed me to do this, but every single day when we would stand in this friend circle, she would be standing right next to me, obviously waiting. Now that, like, thinking back, obviously she was waiting for me to speak to her, or say anything to her, but I was just completely silent the whole time. I was very shy, especially around my friends. And this, maybe I've grown out of this. I'm more callous now. I don't really have these like shy feelings anymore. Don't really have much shame. But back then, it was very much a problem. And this led to her eventually she got the message, and she said, she didn't really speak to me about this. She was mad at me, I think, for misleading her pretty much. And she started dating one of my friends at the time. So the lesson here was that I thought I needed to be a little bit more bold. And that led to the embarrassment of the next venture here. Have it written down. So let's call this one C. She was in my class, and oh my god, this is so embarrassing. So this was still during MySpace days. I would message people on MySpace, and I would, oh my god, just post comments on this girl's MySpace page, declaring my love for her like every day, basically. And it was the most cringe thing. I hope all this stuff is deleted from the internet, because it is really, really embarrassing stuff. Just like the most cringe shit you can think of. Yeah, I don't have exact examples in mind, but just if you could imagine a cringe love quote or whatever, I would imagine that I said that. All right, so next we're going to talk about, let's call her H. This was my first, I would say, real girlfriend. The way I met this girl was I was working at the movie theater at the time. It was in the local AMC in the town, and my reaction to the previous embarrassment I was talking about was kind of like a reversal. I eventually did figure out that I was being super cringe, and then I kind of did like a correction where I was trying to be the super cool guy, and I was having competitions with my coworkers. Who can get the most girls' phone numbers in a shift? So all the girls that would come in, I mean, yeah, I would just ask them for their phone number. So this girl literally, all right, so immediate red flag. I asked this girl for her number while she was with her boyfriend, and both her and her friend gave me their numbers. And eventually, I messaged both of them, and kind of hit it off with with H, and we started dating, and like that lasted for about a year. I did learn a lot there, um, because we experimented a little bit and stuff for the first time. We didn't get past really like first base or whatever, but yeah, it was a good time for me, I guess. Then afterwards, dealing with my first like breakup, the heartbreak stuff, going through that stage. It sucked, but you recover from it and come back stronger. Hopefully, in your case as well. So next, let's see. Oh man! All right. So after this, I got my first experience with the friend zone. So this was super cringe. I'm sorry to my best friend at the time, but I really had a crush on his girlfriend. And after they broke up, I still continued being her friend. And obviously, I had different motivations there. I wanted to be more than friends with her. And eventually, I after the breakup with the H girl, I was like, oh, I have to confess to this girl that I feel this certain way about her. I literally told her that I loved her, which was super cringe. But yeah, so that friendship ended up just fizzling pretty much after that because there was always this weird dynamic there. I don't feel that way about her anymore. I quickly realized that was a mistake. Pretty much, I guess within 6 months after that, because I was pretty distraught immediately after. Obviously, I wasn't aware of these things at the time. So after that, I kind of just went on this, I guess, hoe phase where I was on MySpace and just messaging a bunch of girls from all around the state, pretty much, because I was given the chance to drive. I got my first car, and I ended up kind of like in the high school sense, like hooking up with a few of these girls, but that didn't really go. I didn't really go past like making out with them or anything. So after that little phase, I was invited to a birthday party where I met Kay. So Kay was a friend's relative, and we hit it off at this birthday party. And I ended up dating her for a few months. And I feel really bad about this because this is when I started becoming more jaded about relationships. And I really treated her really badly. And I regret that. But the past is the past, and I can't really do anything about that. I have apologized. I can't. An apology isn't going to really make things better there. But yeah. From that point on, I after I began to realize that I regretted that situation, I did treat the girls in the future with more respect, which moves gets me to my next long-term girlfriend. So Kay, I was with Kay for about 3 4 months, and then this next girl, C, I was with her for uh, I think about 2 years. And I say I respected girls a bit more, but because of the distance here, With C, she lived closer to my hometown, and I was in the college town that I was going to for I was living in for college. And I mean, I neglected her a bit. I would say I would say, but I think I did, from my perspective, treat her well. But it ended up being that oh sorry oh yeah, it ended up being that I was feeling paranoid because she was doing things that were making me feel like I had this bad gut feeling. So, for example, she was going on these like 3 a.m. Newspaper runs to deliver newspapers with her guy friend. So, I mean, I still won't would honestly, I would not feel comfortable with my partner doing that right now. But back then, I I raised this concern, and pretty much I was told that I was being paranoid and that I should trust her. So I let it brew for a few weeks, and then I eventually broke up with her over this because I that it just crossed a boundary for me. So this is my first time actually breaking up with somebody, and I mean, if it felt good and bad because I was able to do something difficult, but also bad because I lost my girlfriend at the time. And let's see. After this, I did meet a few other girls from college, and we didn't really do anything, but we went on a few dates. But eventually, I was just hanging out with my friends, and I got lonely again. So I hit up my ex, C, and we started dating again. And this time, within a few months, like it was like a honeymoon period where we were really into each other, but then it was revealed that like through an anonymous message from some third party, they told me that she was smashing some other guy behind my back. I was I was very mad, and yeah, we broke up that night, and it was pretty messy after that for a couple months, but I no longer spoke to her after that. So then that leads me to my next long term relationship. I've spoken about this girl before, I think, and just from the get go, red flags back to back. She was basic like yeah, just drink a lot of partying and doing things that would I be what I consider now as boundary crossing. For example, within the first week of us dating, I guess, which is I mean a weird concept now that I think about it, being official and stuff like that. But yeah, so within the first week of us like officially dating or whatever, she was still hanging out with her ex, and she also spoke about her ex. She had multiple male friends that were like I wasn't being paranoid. They were clearly um they clearly wanted to do things with her. Like she even told me that they had done things in the past, but she was still friends with them. So there were all these red flags from my perspective, and I just ignored them. And I just dated this girl for multiple years. I think it was 2 or 3 years, and we were on and off too. And eventually, obviously, she cheated on me twice. Um, I don't ask me right now how it's twice. Maybe I can go into that a little bit deeper in the future. As I said before, this won't be the first time I'm talking about this. Not going to be the last time, but it is the first time that I'm talking about these things in quick succession. So this is my second experience, or technically third experience, with being cheated on. And so at this point, I was very insecure, and I did not think very highly of myself. My self esteem was at pretty much rock bottom. And, but I mean, I was still looking for a partner. Like, one of the themes here is that I guess I was always looking for someone to spend my time with. I don't really like, even though I like my alone time, I like building something with somebody. That's just how I am. And whenever I met this next girl, who eventually became my wife, um, one of the things I noticed was, I mean, she was, first of all, she was kind to me, and she, I felt like the, I guess, victim of the Michelangelo effect. So the Michelangelo effect is whenever someone sees something better in you that other people don't even see. Um, my previous relationships, they all devolved into me, like into degeneracy, pretty much. And this is the first relationship that I had, pretty much, that was where we were building something better each day. And I think, I mean, that's ultimately what ended up getting me to marry her. And yeah, I mean, life has just been on an upward trajectory since then. So having a good woman with you by your side, who doesn't always agree with you and pushes you to your limits, I think is uh, just a great dynamic to have, especially as a young man, around the age of like 25 ish, because 25 to 30 is a super crucial time in a young man's life. And having someone to help prop you up to get you there, even though, I mean, you still have to do the work, but it's easier sharing that load with somebody, building that life with somebody. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And I gotta go pick up my son, so I'll talk to you later.